I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic Engineer Gold Mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sean Brodrick, natural resource analyst for the Edelson Institute and Weiss Research. He's also the editor of Red Hot Resource Millionaire and Marijuana Millionaire. Welcome back to the show, Sean.
Thanks very much for having me on.
Well, Canada will be legalizing pot for recreational use on July 1st, Canada Day. What is happening in this space? A lot of business, I would think.
Yeah, well, we just had Nevada legalize recreational marijuana. It pretty much rolled out without a hitch. They took most of the laws Colorado had already hammered out, and they just put their own spin on them. They were fighting with the liquor distributors for a while because they had thrown them the sop of saying that they would be able to distribute the marijuana, but then the liquor distributors started sabotaging everything and are really trying to stop it because they don't want the competition. So now the state's working around them. Because of that, though, marijuana has been so popular in like Nevada that now they're worried that some of the dispensaries will actually run out because it is selling much faster than people thought it would. So, that's one of the interesting things going on, and it is just going to raise so much money. I mean, the state in 4 days made $500,000 in tax revenue, and they think they can sell $30 million worth of marijuana this year. And then there's a projection out from a couple of companies that say that market, that one state, could be worth $630 million by 2020. That's a long ways away. Probably no one will remember that forecast then. So, and so much can happen. I mean, I'm hearing about states like Iowa and Utah talking about legalization for the same underlying reason everyone else is. They need the revenue. And this is a way to get revenue without raising taxes on everyone who's already been taxed to death already. So, I think full scale on legalization will come faster than anyone thinks, simply because at some point Donald Trump and Congress in the U.S. will realize that they have few budget options, and one thing they can do is actually legalize marijuana at a federal level. If they do that, according to the Nonpartisan Tax Foundation, then that could see the feds taking $7 billion in taxes on marijuana per year, and local, state, and federal government revenue could hit $28 billion per year. So there are good fundamental reasons for legalizing marijuana, and they all come out of an ATM. That is money. And so I think money will be the driving force for this.
Well, you look at how many people are in jail in both Canada and the U.S. for simple marijuana possession. It's going to save taxpayers a whack of money right there. What does it cost to put a person in prison a day?
Why haven't they let the people in Canada out of prison yet? That's a question I wonder.
Yeah, we wonder that too. They're still charging them for simple possession. 9,000 people this year will get a criminal record for something that's going to be legal July 1st.
Well, that's just crazy. And there's so many ways to play it. I mean, there's a big, or I should say the only ETF is, of course, the HMMJ up in Canada, which is not doing that well. But there are bright exceptions in the marijuana industry where companies are seeing their year-over-year revenue grow by hundreds of percent. Those are winners. And right now there is a boot weighing down on them, a boot pressing down on them which is the fact that it's illegal on a federal level. Once that goes away, you will see a tremendous amount of money turn into the sector. What I'm trying to do with my subscribers is actually get into the stocks that I think will go up a lot when the feds legalize. But you have to balance your risks and rewards. It helps if the company has an arm's length away from the actual plant. Maybe they do something else that's related to marijuana, but they sell, say, fertilizer or lighting or something like that, but they aren't actual marijuana growers. In the U.S., that gives you a little edge of safety. That said, I'm very keen on Canadian growers because those guys are making the money now. They are ramping up for your legalization that's coming next year, and they're actually taking all that money, which they're making now, which is a lot of money, and they're heading down in the U.S. and actually consolidating businesses because they see the U.S. market is so fragmented that they want to be positioned for when the U.S. federal government legalizes. So there's just so much potential for investors in this area. I am just licking my chops. We've already put out one recommendation. I have more going out. I think everyone should be looking at the sector. Now, some people will have moral reasons for not investing in marijuana. I understand that completely. There's nothing saying you have to. You don't have to invest in this. You don't have to invest in hard liquor or beer or cigarettes or any of that. But for those who aren't really bothered by the fact that it's a, quote, sin, unquote, stock, sin stocks, I think that there are some opportunities you should really look at.
I remember driving into Nevada from California and seeing a big sign that said, "We have 24-hour booze, legal prostitution. Why do you even want to think about doing drugs? Because we'll nail you for it."
Yeah, well, and in fact, they still do. If you grow marijuana in your home in Nevada without a medical card, they will arrest you. This just happened to a guy from New Mexico, as a matter of fact. And, of course, the real carnage is in places like, say, Texas, which has always been very anti-drug. And so there are people from Texas who are going on vacation in Nevada smoking some herb, and then they come back home and they get drug tested and they lose their jobs. Now, a lady who is a teacher just sued about this, and she won because the judge said if she went to Nevada and gambled, which is illegal in Texas, she wouldn't lose her job. So why can't she go to Nevada and smoke marijuana? Because it is actually legal there, and that's actually a pretty good point. So I think this is one of the things we will have to actually work out. But even in Texas, the winds of change are blowing, and people are talking about, we could really use that tax revenue. Like I said, that's the big driver going forward. People can talk about fairness and keeping people out of prison and all the things that actually warm people's hearts. But when it actually comes down to brass tacks, money is going to make the difference. Money for the states, money for the federal government, money for the big corporations that are going to get rich off this. So I think that'll actually be the biggest driving factor.
And if you want to take money away from organized crime, take away their biggest source of revenue, marijuana.
Yeah, that actually has hurt them quite a bit. They're now shifting to things like heroin, which, I think that just shows how desperate they are. Good luck with that. Well, no, actually not good luck with that. I hope they fail miserably. But, yeah, it really takes money away from the Mexican cartels because they were growing a lot of pot just south of the U.S. border. And now with it legal in a whole bunch of places, they just don't have the market for it. Prices have crashed. And it's not worth their money to do illegal activity if the price is lower. That said, there is still illegal marijuana being grown in Colorado. It's grown by organized criminals there who then ship it out to other states where it's still illegal. That's the kind of weird thing about it. If it's still illegal in places, then there will be illegal activity going on. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But, again, it's still early days. That's why it's really good for investors. It's so early that you can get some real bargains if you have a longer-term view.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after the break.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN-AF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese, Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sean Brodrick. Sean, how has palladium been playing out?
Well, that's actually doing quite well. And I just sent around some charts to my coworkers here in the Legion of Doom on Monday, pointing out that really it had come down to a place where it might be a good point to buy it if you missed the first big run. Now's not a bad time to actually look at that. We should continue to see palladium do well, platinum not do so well, for the simple reason that no one's going to make diesel cars anymore. Why? There are more and more companies being caught, cheating on the emissions from diesel. Now, that doesn't mean that platinum can't go higher, but it's a big strike against it, and it could take some time to actually work through that. So we'll have to see how that actually goes. But I would much rather bet on palladium, and it came down to a good entry point, and that's really nice. Something else that looks good, by the way, which is kind of interesting, solar energy. We have a fund here in the U.S. called TAN, because you get a tan from the sun, but it holds a basket of solar stocks, and it's looking quite good. And that's a sector that really went through the ringer for the longest time. Terrible. And also there have been all sorts of projections that as subsidies go away, it's actually going to suffer more. But you know what? The price is falling so quickly that it may not matter that much. That's what the newest projections are, that actually that sector will be okay. And if it was priced for disaster, which it was, and in fact still is, then there are some real opportunities there, and so people can probably make money there as well.
Well, China has covered this lake that used to be a mining tailings pond and has created the biggest floating solar panel display or array in the world. And at some points during the day, 20% of their power comes from solar.
Yeah, they are really leading the way in this. It's unfortunate we aren't, but we still hold the most patents on solar, by the way. So there's no reason we can't reclaim leadership back. And I hope we do. I think there's enormous potential in that area. But, of course, you have to think about all the things that are in the chain of events. If we're going to run on solar, we have to store it. If you're going to store it, you need the energy metals to build those things which hold energy, all the batteries and stuff. And if you look at what the big companies are actually talking about now, they need a lot of new huge factories to build all these batteries for all this stuff. And so energy metals, I just think the potential there is great. Maybe not lithium so much, because that already had kind of a run and it has to work that off. Though, frankly, the big three lithium companies are starting to power up again, but the smaller ones are still getting stepped on a bit. But looking at things like cobalt and stuff like that, there's tremendous potential. My subscribers are doing well. I won't name that one just because I don't want to give you any conflicts, but there are some places where you can really do well in this business and probably continue to do well because of the simple math. They want to build all these factories, making all this storage, and that metal has to come from somewhere, and that means the money needs to be invested now. If you're talking about, maybe 2025, you want X amount of new battery factories, you have to invest the money now so that all that metal will be mined, or in the future it will be mined, so you can actually make the batteries. So just so much potential. That's one area people should really be looking at.
We'll have more with Sean Brodrick right after this.
I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario. With grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold, a drill program will commence this spring to test the numerous targets located by recent groundwork. For more information, visit our website, rmroyalty.com.
Keep informed. Receive our weekly recap of thought-provoking articles, podcasts, and radio delivered to your inbox for free. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage, HowStreet.com. Welcome back. We're chatting with Sean Brodrick. Sean, how are small-cap miners doing, and is there potential there?
Oh, yeah. Well, lately I've been kind of negative on the miners. I haven't recommended any. But I recommended one for the first time in a long time. Now, it's not actually a miner. It's a gold developer. It'll be producing in the fourth quarter. But you can buy it for pennies. Pennies. And this is a Canadian stock. It's working in Nevada. Well, it's actually working in Arizona, right over the Nevada border. So just that whole sector is just hated right now. I was looking at some sentiment indicators last week, and they tipped so far to one side that, there has to be some kind of rally. Now, will it be a short-term rally, or will it be a longer-term rally? That's the thing that people can rub crystal balls all they want. It's very hard to predict. But if you can find a company that can make money at current prices, and it has the potential to make a heck of a lot more money when prices go higher, it's not a bad company to buy at recent price levels. That's at least what I think, just because they're so darn cheap, because they've been squashed down so much and just steamrollered that some of these things are stupid cheap. And then you compare that to like tech stocks, which are just, there are some insane valuations there. So you're not really going to get any value. If you're looking for value, look in miners. They have been beaten up for so long, they really have some enormous potential.
Sean, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks you very much. I had a great time as always. It's always fun to talk to you, and let's just do that again soon.
My guest has been Sean Brodrick, Natural Resource Analyst for Edelson Institute and Weiss Research. Also check out his websites, Red Hot Resource Millionaire and Marijuana Millionaire. You're listening to HowStreet.com Radio. Any questions for the show or our guests can be sent to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com Radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com Radio is a production of House Street Media Incorporated.